Tracker Pro is my love letter to reading and Obsidian, a complete reading system for your reading life in Obsidian. I love Book Tracker Pro, so let's take a tour, starting first with the Book Tracker base. Now, if you are not clear on what a base is a new feature in Obsidian, which allows you to basically make Obsidian more like Notion. That's basically it. But it allows you to see data, and it is still in its early stages of development. They have a roadmap that they are following, but one of the things that makes Book Tracker Pro look so good is the ability for your bases to have different layouts. Cards, tables, and lists are the layouts that are currently available. The Obsidian team just released the ability to use a map layout. And basically, it was a way to show the community that it can create custom layouts. For my first go, I wanted to create a book tracker base because, as I said, I love books and I love Obsidian. So this is how it works. You can see here the books, each of the books here. And what I love about the book tracker is the icons. I love icons. When I first tried to make a little rating system here, I just used emojis and it just didn't look right. I wanted something that looked as classy as the rest of Obsidian looks. So going through the documentation, I learned that you can actually add Lucide icons. Lucide icons are the icons that the Obsidian team chose to use throughout Obsidian. So by using Lucide icons in my book base, I made it match with the rest of the user interface. It just fits in so much better. Also, throughout Book Tracker Pro, I used a custom color scheme, a muted color scheme that goes all the way throughout the notes, the daily note template, all of the Goodreads templates, the entire base itself. And it comes with 4 different CSS files. And the CSS files are very clearly explained so that you can go through and change things that you don't like. I wanted this to be really customizable and have it just be something that is perfect for you. Because if you feel as strongly about books and your reading life and that as I do, you want to look at something that really excites you to open up that next book and take another note and remember what you've read before. It's really deeply personal. So I wanted you to be able to make it personal for you. And one of the ways that you can personalize Book Tracker Pro is through the progress bars. So when I first started looking around for a book tracker and see what other people were doing, I didn't really see anyone doing progress bars. And there was not a lot of information on how to do that. Well, here they are. And not only do they work, but they're customizable. So you can make progress bars in using one of these 7 different icons. So for example, we have the book icon. So naturally, that one is my favorite. But let's say we wanted to change it to hearts here. I'm just going to copy the word heart. I'm going to hover over the base. And one of the things that I felt it was really important to do was to make the bases look really clean by removing the bar here at the top. And only happens, the bar only comes up when you hover over the base. So it makes your notes and the daily note template, which I'll show you later, look much neater. I'm going to hit the edit this block in the top right-hand corner. Under style here, this one line style, we just want to remove the word books and put in whatever of the 7 different choices that you would like. And it will pop in with some nice hearts. And I even took time to make sure that the icons went together. The progress icons, the ones in progress or have completed, and the not yet completed or not yet read icons would match together. So for example, with the squares, the completed is a check mark and the not completed are open squares. All of these options work the same way. So they're really fun to just change it out because again, if you're looking at this, you're going to be looking at it, for quite a while. So I wanted to make it, day after day. If you're looking at this, I wanted to make it different, change it up a little bit. There are icons for how many times you've reread the book. And also, I loved that I was able to get half stars in. That was really important too. So it's a 1 to 5 rating, from point 0.5 up to 5. So now we can take a look at one of the books. I'm going to look at the Library at Mount Char. Let's do this one. And because I just love how this banner came out. But this is how a book note looks. And I included all of the properties I could think of that you would want to use to track your books. The series, how important that is. The genre. I'll talk a little bit more about the genre, but there's a lot of genres to choose from. So it should cover everything that you could possibly have in your to be read pile. Let me know if I missed one, but I hope I didn't. Description and status is where we get those icons. The 4 statuses are reading, do not finish, or did not finish, finished, and to read or to be read. To be read, to be read. Anyway, and the total pages and the current page here and the date started. The date started was important. I wanted to have a date started and date finish so that you could say track 52 books and a book a week if you were doing a challenge, a reading challenge for that year or that month or whatever it might be. So that was important. And also, again, people like to reread books. So I added that in there. And the rating here is also here with a drop down, the date published, the ISN or the ISBN, depending on how you pull the book in. And I'll show you a little bit more about that because this is a one-click system. It is a done-for-you system. All you have to do is add the templates to Goodreads and click the books, and that's it. They hop right in to your vault and show up in your base. It's really cool. The other thing that I wanted to really focus on was the quotes. Quotes are such an important thing in a reading life, and I wanted to carefully curate quotes that were only about reading, writing, or books themselves. Just the experience of it. There are quotes for every single day in Book Tracker Pro, including leap year, because why not? So I spent some considerable time curating and finding all of these quotes. And so whenever you make a new book, whatever the quote is for that day, it will pop up. I love that. The quotes are all here. So even though there's one set to come up every day, if you don't like that one, just pick another one. They're all in here, very inspiring, and you can use them wherever you would like throughout your vault. I took a lot of time with the note layout as well, too. I wanted the note layout to be something that inspired you to want to write. Each of the notes have this call out, and I thought I kind of tried to think of these call outs as journal prompts, basically. Something to kind of get you thinking about what you could write in this section. Of course, this is all changeable in the template. You can change it up as however you would like. The reflections and overview. So basically it was just, what would you write right before you open this book up? And that feeling, the new pages smell, and you open up the book and the cover and the story is going to pop out. That feeling, I can feel it in my chest right now, is, I've been feeling that since I could read, since I was a little girl. I was one of those people as a child who was such a reader that I would walk around like with a book, my nose in a book, literally walking down the street. I did that many, many times. So I really wanted to have that feeling in the note before you open up the book. What is it gonna like? What's it about? What's your feeling going on there? When you're inside the story. And then finally, when you close the book on that last page. But then if you're anything of a book nerd like I am, you want to talk about that book. So I included a section for you to have your book club notes, your talking points. If you weren't in a book club, but you just wanted to remember this thing, this quote in the book you wanted to tell somebody, or something you remember with your best friend when you're having tea next time you see her, whatever that might be. And then also, I know that myself, I like to comment on the narrator of the audiobook if I'm listening to the audiobook version, or for those of you guys who use like a Kindle, you could just take notes on maybe how the Kindle edition was. I just wanted to include a format note section for you down here. So that is a book note, and it's different for fiction and nonfiction. If I head over here to Stephen King's On Writing here, it's different for the at a glance evidence and examples from page to practice. The basic format's the same, but the prompts are slightly different because of fiction and nonfiction. And for books like The Lost Bookshop, for example, that would have been an audiobook. If you click on this note and come in, you might be wondering how you might handle it if it's an audiobook and you want to keep track of total pages and current pages. The quickest way to do that is to just put total pages 100, for example. These are all of the other books that are in your vault that have pages in here. So just type in 100. And then for your current page, when you finish it, just type in 100 there. And if you feel like you're about halfway through the book, if you have an audiobook app that shows you where you are in the book, you can just keep track of it by putting about, say if you're 25% through, just put 25. That's the quickest way to do that. And the banners for each book are the book cover. A little fun trick here. I love the following community plugin. I had a design philosophy when I was working on this. And one of the things that was really important is I did not want to have you have any community plugins. No community plugins are necessary. I wanted only core plugins and basically the minimal amount of plugins possible. So Pretty Properties, though, is a great plugin, which I do recommend. And I love it because it does this. I love that. It adds this cover page, this cover image, and it just makes it with the banner. I love it. It looks great. It's so cool. So you can use that, but also you can add a banner of any type. It doesn't have to be the cover. It is automatically, the template's automatically set it with the cover here at the top in the banner, but you can change that. And you can do so by heading up here in the top right-hand corner, hitting source mode, and you can see the banner is pulled right from here. So simply change it to whatever you would like. Okay, so we have a kind of overview of our book tracker, and you've seen how the books look. So how do you get books into your base? Well, let me show you really fast how to do that. If you purchase Book Tracker, there'll be a deeper dive into this. There's a complete video in there, quick start guide to get you up and running. But basically what I did was I created not just one, not just two, but 6 Goodreads templates, because I wanted you to not have to lift a single finger when adding books in. So I'm going to show you by heading over to Goodreads and showing you with the book, The Thursday Murder Club. Has anyone read this? Have any of you read this book? It's such a great book. Absolutely love it. It gave me a memory of Agatha Christie, who's one of my 2 favorite authors of all time. So over here, you have the Goodreads Web Clipper app, which you can find at obsidian.md/web clipper. You want to click on the button here to add it to your toolbar. If you're in Firefox, it'll say add to Chrome if you're in Chrome. And when you head up here and see Obsidian Web Clipper, let's head back to Goodreads. I'm going to click on that. And in the settings here, all the templates will show up. You can add templates by clicking on the import button. There's more detail about that in the quick start video. And I have the templates set up with fiction because I read that more often, and nonfiction here at the bottom. And then from there, it is super simple. All you have to do is go up here to the icon, the Web Clipper icon, press it, hit add to Obsidian. It's already set to go right into the Book Tracker Pro Book Notes folder, but you can change this in the settings. Here, click on any template and change the note location. And I'm going to go over here and I'm just going to click add to Obsidian. It's that simple. Boom. It's now in your base and ready for you to input information. And one of the things I love about Goodreads is that it adds the total pages, already set to read. You know, you can change this if you've already read it, if you're adding in books you've already read from the past. And it adds the quote of the day. And there you go. There's your empty template. All right. So that's how you add from Goodreads. But what do you do if you don't want to use Goodreads or the book isn't for some reason on Goodreads? There are 2 manual templates that come with Book Tracker Pro. There's fiction and nonfiction, and they involve the core plugin here. So to do that, I'm just going to create a new note. I'm going to click on the command palette here up in the left, or I also have it in my right click menu here. I'm going to insert the template. I'm going to choose fiction because Kitty. I love this banner. And I went through and found 38 beautiful banners for you that come with Book Tracker Pro. just because, again, you want to change it up. You want to have something pretty. And so I'll show you those banners in a minute. But this is the entire note. It's exactly the same as the Goodreads note, except that you just need to fill in all of this information on your own. Now, when you're filling out your template, filling out the properties correctly is pretty important. And to help you with that, I have added a seed note here that has all of the genres that you can use with Book Tracker Pro. So if the way Obsidian works is that if there's a note property, whatever is in that note property in any note in your vault will show up in a drop down when you try and use that property in another note. For example, let's head over to the Thursday Murder Club. And because this came in from Goodreads, it's already set as mystery. But let's say that we try to hand type this in and just have a moment and momentarily forget how to spell the word mystery. Now, when we head over to the book tracker base, you'll see that the icon for the word genre has a question mark. That means, whoops, the formula does not recognize that word. And I made sure to put question marks in for all of the icons so that if something was wrong with the formula, you would know right away. In order to change that, and in order to make sure that you always use a genre that is part of this entire list here, that the formulas are written for, just use the dropdown and choose from there. Now, because I have other books in my vault that I haven't yet changed over, you can see that some of these are lowercase and whatnot. Just go ahead and put if you're not sure what genre, just use this property reference here, choose from one of these. And also in the book notes folder itself, I have also included a notes properties guide. In fact, there's a guide in, I think, every single folder in Book Tracker Pro that shows you what to do with what's in that folder. And not only that, for example, with the nonfiction genres, art, design, and architecture, you don't have to type that whole thing out. Don't worry. You can just type in art or design or architecture, or you can just select art, design, architecture from the drop-down list. Again, everything is super simple for you to do. I tried to make this so that it was basically very difficult to break it. So let's see. You might be thinking, well, you don't know me, sister. Give me 5 minutes in this thing and I might be able to do my worst. But if that's the case and you do find that it's not working, there's an email in the quick start guide if you do purchase Book Tracker Pro, and you can send it over to me and I'll do my best to fix it for you. Anyway, so down here is all of this. Let's put this back to mystery, adventure, action. There is a lot of adventure in this book, for sure. But let's set this to the right genre, or otherwise that'll drive my eye nuts. So over here, everything else is the same and the templates are exactly the same. So that is the way to add books, both through manual templates and through Goodreads. So what else is there in Book Tracker Pro? Oh, well, there is more. The banners. I'm just going to show you some of those. I love these banners. I absolutely enjoyed this part of the process, finding all of these banners, and all of them are described here. They're all very clearly named, so you can just go through and see, like, ooh, typewriter. What's that? Ooh, that looks cool. And I have given credits to all of the photographers who graciously share their work through Pexels. So all of these are laid out for you to be able to find whatever banner that you would like. There is still more. There is a daily note template. This part came in towards the end of the process because I was like, you know what? There's something missing. I think we should do a daily note template here. So, here is the daily note template. In order to use that, you're going to need to use the daily note core plugin here. And again, there is a guide to show you exactly how to set up the daily note plugin and some tips and tricks for using them. All the template features, all of that is included in the guide and in the quick start video that I recorded for you. But let's see how it works by going over here. I'm just going to close out this note and I'm just going to click here on daily notes, this little calendar icon over in the left-hand side. And that's it. There's your daily note for today, November 6th. Here is a place to enter your rhythm. I wanted to have some tracking here because eventually I knew that, or at least I should say, I hope that there will be an ability to add in features from like tracking, habit tracking type features into future bases. Right now, there isn't really a view for that, but I know that that is something that many people want. So I had hope for that. That's why I included it. And down here is always a section to include your daily notes, your to-do list, and of course, books you've started today or books you've finished today. In fact, let's go back over to the book tracker base. And let's say that we started this book, The Thursday Murder Club, today. Now we can head back over here, and there it shows up right away. And our book started today. And so I love this feature. And again, the bar here at the top doesn't show up unless your mouse is over it so that your daily note looks nice and clean. For my reading year, there are a couple of views here, all books this year, so you can keep track of like, you can see it says 4 results. So if you're doing a 52 and 52 a challenge, you can see books finished this month. And you can also see by genre. This is a table view, and you can just spread here, just move the title column to widen it and see the date finished and all the views there. Next is an evening reflection. So I kind of set this whole note up to go through as you would go through your day. You know, how are you doing this morning? How was your sleep? How's your energy? How's your mood? And then go into your notes, what you have to do today, what you did today book-wise, a reminder of what you're currently reading, your reading year, and then finally in the evening, your reflection. And then also, because I don't feel like any book tracker is worth its salt without a book wish list, because always more books, I added a book wish list for you to keep track of the books that you want. You might have noticed that the daily note has these wonderful Lucide icons over here. Again, I use Lucide icons throughout this entire thing because I just think they're so pretty. And again, they make it look like your note is part of Obsidian. It looks like the rest of the vault. You might be wondering, how did I get them to show up in the notes like this? Unless you're using an app, a plugin like Iconize, for example, which is what allows me to add icons to my folders here. I've been working with Obsidian now for almost 3 years, and I didn't know that there was any way that you could put icons directly in your note, but it turns out, oh, you can. And it's actually not very hard. I'm going to head over here to the top right-hand corner. I'm going to click on source mode, and you'll see the secret. It's really simple. These SVG icons show up with this code. And you can get this code when you click on any icon, like for example, this arrow down icon for alphabetizing a list. And you click on copy SVG and you place this right into your Obsidian vault. Come out of source mode and the icon, whatever it is, shows up. But I didn't want you to have to go out into the Lucide website every time you wanted to find a particular icon, for example, and then copy the SVG. I felt that'd be pretty tedious. So I included a Lucide icon reference. This references all 1,640 Lucide icons from the latest version for you to quickly navigate through all of them alphabetically. Just like on the website, arrow down is the first icon. So to get these icons to show up in your notes, it's pretty simple. You just hover over the code block here. This is the case for any code block in Obsidian. But what you want to do is hold your mouse over this, click copy to copy it to your clipboard, and then head over to your daily note, for example. And we're going to head up here again to the top right-hand corner to go to source mode, and we'll see the block of text here that we want to replace. I'm just going to highlight it, and then I'm going to paste in the text from the code block. Now I'm going to head out of source mode. And at first you might think, oh, this doesn't work. It does work. You just need to move your cursor away from the code block. And there it is. So that is how you can change out any of these icons or add icons to anywhere else that you would like in your Obsidian Vault. I said that there were two loves that inspired me to create Book Tracker Pro. One is my love of books and the reading life, and the other was my love of Obsidian. But there is a third, and that was my love of AI and AI agents and how much they have helped me better my life. If you want to know how I am using AI to automate my Obsidian Vault, well, I've got you covered. That video is on screen right now.